Bridging Freedom is a safe campus for minor female sex trafficking victims. And just so you know, and I think you'll be proud of this, it's right here in our area. And right now, while you're sitting here having lunch, I'm not sure what their lunchtime is, but at some time around this time, 12 little girls were sitting down in that campus, and probably for the first time in their life that they can remember, they had a safe meal. And that's because of your generosity. 12 little girls. And not too far from where that's at, the only boys' home in the nation is right here in your area, where today, 5 little boys. One of them will break your heart because when he came to that home, he didn't even know how old he was. He had never had a birthday. They assume that he's about 8 or 9, just based on his stature. The best they can tell, no documentation, don't know where he came from, and the little boy has never had a birthday. The second day he was in the home, he had his first birthday. That's happening right here.
So the Rotary Club of Wesley Chapel, we always support different projects within our community. This is probably by far the biggest project that we've ever come up with, and that we have the full support of all of our Rotarians with making sure that we can hit this goal to make this home.
So human trafficking has been around since the beginning of mankind. So human trafficking is an old criminal activity. However, in the United States, we have only been able to prosecute and to investigate on a legal side human trafficking since the year 2000. So let me give you the street definition of what human trafficking is. When one person takes advantage of another person for a commercial purpose. Human trafficking. Now, when I say commercial purpose, does that only mean money? And the answer is no. In fact, in most cases that I've been involved in my years of doing this, the most of the cases is not money at all. It's going to be something else of value. And many times it's going to be dope. So dope is big. The other thing is going to be survival sex, which means a young girl, 14-year-old, runs away from Tampa, ends up in Orlando. So you'll hear me reference a couple of actual cases. Ends up in Orlando. She meets another 14-year-old girl that's on the street. And the girl that's on the street says, hey, if you want a place to sleep tonight, I can take you to a home. Just know that Joe, who has the trailer, is going to require a sexual act in order for you to sleep on the couch. The bottom line is simply this. The buyer creates the demand. The buyer puts the money into the market. And when I talk about a market, you're talking about $150 billion a year at 40.3 million victims right now of human trafficking globally. 40.3 million, generating $150 billion a year. Second largest criminal enterprise in the world, just behind the drug trade. And most experts believe that in 5 years, human trafficking will be number 1. Many of the victims that we recover are being raped 12 to 30 times every night. 12 to, can you imagine a young girl with 12 different men, or a young boy with several different men coming in and having a sexual relationship with them 25 times in one night?
The hardest part for me is to identify that this is within our Wesley Chapel community. And it could be your child that could be impacted. It could be your child that might have had a bad day and they might have been bullied at school, and someone came over to them and said, you look beautiful, and all that it took for one of the survivors that was speaking at district conference, that's what she said. She was having a rough day and she was in foster care, and that's all it took for her to be part of a statistic. But we need your help. The Rotary Club of Wesley Chapel needs your help to make this dream a reality for these children.